This program brought to you by Harvey Norman. There's a store near you. And NAB. Thousands of communities, one passion.
It's a beautiful night in southeast Queensland as we welcome you to Gold Coast Stadium for the opening night of the NAB Cup competition. And it's the Kangaroos up against Collingwood. The Kangaroos are trying to make Carrara or the Gold Coast Stadium a home away from home over the next 3 years. And they'll be looking for a big result tonight against Collingwood, who are so famous that they have fans and foes wherever they play. David Schwartz joins me. David, do you feel as if the stakes are higher maybe for the Kangaroos tonight?
Certainly is, Bruce. They've got 10 games here over the next 3 years. And they'll be looking for a big impression first up.
And they've picked a really experienced team first up, haven't they?
They certainly have, compared to Collingwood, who have got a bunch of babies. It is quite amazing, the side. They're only missing Archer and Lee Harding, so pretty much a full squad.
So we have a look at that Kangaroo squad for this first round match.
And it is quite an impressive side, as we said. Hamish McIntosh, the big ruckman, he'll play more like a ruck rover. We've got the other player down the bottom there in Matt Campbell. He's a little rookie, but you watch, he's a live wire, Bruce. And also Lachlan Hanson, of course, he was their #1 pick, and a lot riding on him.
And David Collingwood, as you say, they've picked an inexperienced team today. A lot of their top players have been rested and haven't made the trip north.
Certainly have, and two players in particular will be Sean Rusling and Paul Medhurst, taking up the void from Chris Tarrant. They'll be looking to kick goals out of those two. And a young player, Brad Dick, he's very light. He's only 68 kilos. Oh, but watch him. He's very, very good.
Gold Coast Stadium looking splendid tonight. It's been a warm day, a bit of rain here, but holding off for the moment, and a good crowd in attendance. We saw both these teams training here last night, and Collingwood had a lot of support, and that's what the Kangaroos are chasing here. 10 games, as David Schwartz said, over the next 3 years to establish themselves on the Gold Coast as well as in Melbourne. The weather tonight, as I said, we've had a bit of rain. Currently it's 24, getting down maybe a degree or two, but still warm enough, and maybe a shower or two as we've had through the day. So the Kangaroos favourites in a way here, I reckon, David, because of the team. As you said, only really a couple missing. Casey Green unavailable tonight. Glenn Archer, who we hope to be talking to at half-time with Dennis Committee.
And Jonathan Hay, of course. It is a very experienced side. Lee Harding won't be back until 2/3 of the way through, so they'll be expecting to go out tonight and to be super competitive. They've got a big statement to make up here too, Bruce. They need to win support. Under 1,000 memberships in the Gold Coast already, doing a wonderful job.
Well, we mentioned John Hay a moment ago. Let's go to Tim Watson. Tim, big news concerning John Hay tonight.
It's been another dramatic day, Bruce. There's been a joint statement that's been issued by the Kangaroos and John Hay. Hay said his immediate retirement was in the best interests of his health, his teammates and the club. He went on to say that he'd like to publicly thank Dean Laidley and Tim Harrington, who've helped him through a difficult time at the club. Rick Aylett responded, the CEO of the Kangaroos, saying that they were disappointed the Kangaroos that Hay couldn't continue his career, but recognised his health must be the #1 priority. So we wish John Hay all the best in his retirement.
Well, we do need to wish Jonathan Hay all the best in his retirement. Will be a big loss for the Kangaroos. Didn't get a lot of games out of him last year, but it just figures why you do a whole pre-season, and right on the eve of the season starting, that is it.
Hopefully he's remembered as an All-Australian in 2001, and perhaps not the Jonathan Hay we saw last season. And we echo those sentiments from Tim. Good luck to him. Just looking at the Kangaroos, up and about, an extended pre-season. It virtually started before the grand final. So they should be match ready. There's a haircut. Shouldn't be allowed in the summer.
They're the away
Got the
team.
toss of the coin
Ben, this is
coming
Shane
up.
doing the toss for
Captain
us.
for the last 3 years.
Adam, Shane doing the toss for us. Adam, you're going to be giving us a call. What would you like?
Oh, we'll go heads.
Heads. Only Shane, no worries. Heads the call from Adam, and it's a head.
So Shane Cousins out there from Nowra, one of the NAB staff who won the competition. NAB is much a part of footy as Auskick is to the dreams of those that want to play. It may be a Collingwood Guernsey or a Kangaroo Guernsey when they get a little bit older. So Ben Johnson, the captain tonight, in Nathan Buckley's absence, and Adam Simpson, as Dennis said, he's been there for a long, long time. Like Shannon Grant and Brent Harvey at the Kangaroos. They're premiership players out there. And that decision to make those players at the end of the year, Simpson, Pratt and also Grant, finish off the year in rounds 18 and 19 has paid because they're all out here tonight.
They are all out here tonight and they look in wonderful condition. 1,800 games of experience for the Pies that aren't available for this evening's game.
I will pick up.
Interesting situation the season before last, of course. The hierarchy of the Kangaroos talking about a premiership run. So in that context, you've got to say last season very disappointing. No question about that. A chance to begin on a path to redemption tonight. Jess Sinclair. Michael Malthouse on the bridge. Looking out across Carrara.
Eddie, have the ball in your hand.
The surface here has always been praised, David.
One of the best. One of the best.
King football about to make its return. Umpires tonight: Head, Avon, McInerney and Armstrong. Tiger Woods could putt on that. And away we go. The umpire deciding to toss it in the air. McIntosh taps it down. Down goes Watt, in goes Johnson of Collingwood, tries to feed it out, did well. Reece Shaw taken in the tackle. Now Ben Johnson finds some space, kicks it down towards half forward. Paul Medhurst still going. Medhurst taken front on by Watt, crashes to the turf. Harvey slips a hand pass away. Simpson, nicely worked. Gibson, aerodynamically sound of this season, goes down towards half for the kicking. Not so good though. Maxwell goes back, takes the mark, swings it across the ground. Heath Shaw up from half back. Medhurst could be the target. No, he decides to go short and finds Davis on the outer side.
They were important players early in their run last year. As Dennis said, they won 8 of their first 10. I'm talking about Maxwell and Heath Shaw and Davis. Here's O'Brien, smothered. Chance for the Kangaroos. Grant paddles it forward. Now Corey Jones on the end of it. Well, he hurried a bit and he didn't probably have to. It's inside the 50 now. Handball away. Okay. And Heath Shaw just squeezes it out wide. And Collingwood with an opportunity here. Taken by Cook. Hasn't played a senior game. Here's Reece Shaw. And Reece Shaw messes it beautifully to Burns.
The veteran to Cloak under pressure, slips a hand pass away. Reece Shaw running down towards the attacking 50. Medhurst, can he score a goal? Not quite. In fact, it's short of the mark. And McIntosh goes back and juggles it right on the line. Paul Medhurst, a straight-up swap for Chris Tarrant. Another ex-Docker on the outer side. Jess Sinclair gets around Rusling. Looks back towards the middle. High ball, Hale in front. Maxwell flew, loose at the back. Oh, swooping on it is Wells. Wells goes long down towards full forward. Thompson in position A. Well done, Wakeland. That's the best policy. Set on him. Isles hand passes across the line and behind.
All clear, rushed. All clear, rushed.
So 3 points.
Yes. We get the black flag, don't we?
We do. So Kangaroos with the opening score here on this perfect night at Carrara. Temperatures in the low to mid-20s. Great shot from above. Measure kick. Had a couple of options. Wakeland in the end. Maxwell leaving it for Wakeland. He had a frustrating year last year, Wakeland. He was a late replacement in 3 or 4 games at least.
He's picking up Thompson. Maxwell on Hale.
Speaking of Maxwell, he was injured middle of the season last year against Brisbane. It was an important injury. Here's Watt. That's a poor kick. Grant. Well done to Wells. Silky skills. Good to Jones. Again, a poor kick by Jones. Second one early in this match. Pretty good tackle from the back.
No time. Held to him, no time.
They have got an open forward line here, the Kangaroos. The ball's gone in a couple of times.
I mentioned the umpires tonight. We talked about Tiger Woods putting on this. Some of the players have taken this literally. It's thumped from that bounce, or throw up more correctly. Simpson gets onto the loose ball, feigns a hand pass. Now he goes to Watt. Petrie outside the centre square to McIntosh, bounces obligingly. McIntosh kicks it down towards full forward. Wakelin watched the bounce carefully, did well, hacks it out towards left half back, and it runs out of bounds in front of O'Brien. A late arriving crowd, but a good one now at Carrara. Footy back on the Gold Coast. Shane Wakelin beginning his 14th season. Boundary umpire comes in 10 metres. In from the side, Egan got a fist on it, wide of the congestion. Grant, the veteran, looks towards the middle. A couple of men on. Watt's kicking hasn't been good. He realises that. Gets a hand pass to Sinclair. Inside the 50, a six-pointer.
Sinclair's had a big pre-season. Upper body strength looks enormous at the moment. Kangaroos will be hoping to get a lot out of him.
Well set up. And he measured it from 45 and hammered it home. So the Kangaroos on top early. Both the scoring shots of the Kangaroos are actually a rushed and then a goal to Sinclair.
Mick.
So 9-0.
On change sides, the ruckmen are lined up that way.
Going up, boys. Jump at the footy, jump at the footy, jump at the ball, go to the ball,
So
go
no
to the ball.
bounce at the start here again. So throwing it up. Sure, he was high on him.
Fine, no. Thank you now. Excuse me.
Really sure came back after a knee reconstruction last year and finished the season off pretty well. Brother had a big one. So Kangaroos again attacking. Harvey gets it from Wells, and then Harvey bangs it to centre half forward into a hot spot. Oh, fantastic mark! So Lindsay Thomas over the top.
Thanks, guys. Right.
Well, that's a good way to start your footy career.
Wow.
Thanks.
Didn't use the hands either. Wonderful effort. Perfect leap. And right over the top of the experienced one in Scott Burns.
Thanks, boys. 5 metres.
There's a mark there.
Good signs to be judging it that well this early on.
From the Port Adelaide Magpies last year. Taken pretty low in the draft. 4th pick for the Kangaroos, but he's been very exciting along with Matt Campbell at training. Kicks from 50. He's given it all he's got, and it's going home for a goal. What a start for him. So Thomas on the board, and the Kangaroos have dashed away.
Dean Lately will be delighted. Their forward line's working beautifully. Notice their game plan. Running, handballing at all times, playing on it at every opportunity. And when you get the ball inside quickly, you're very likely to put the defence under pressure. Super finish.
Inside 50s, the Kangaroos 6 to Collingwood's 1. No doubt about you, Bruce. Back 5 minutes, and you've already got the leader in the mark of the year. Here's Shaw. Now there's a free kick, and it's going Collingwood's way. Slow to get up is Richards. So important for them this season. If he fires, Fraser is released to go forward. On the outer side, Davies looking to cement his spot. Wider still, Ben Johnson goes down towards left half forward. Nice work. They found some space on the outer side. High ball comes in from Isles. Off hands and across the line. And this will be just behind. No intent in that. Drew Petrie.
Played into the Kangaroos' hands there. 4 tools for the Kangaroos. Easy knock away.
Here's Pratt, former Brisbane Lion. Talking about Petrie, he's found a home in defence. And so is he. Maxwell over the top, thumps it out of bounds.
Thanks, boys. Jump at the ball.
Here's the bench.
Jump at the ball.
Kangaroos. Moran's on there.
Don't hold.
Also, Brady Rawlings just having a rest.
6 on the interchange tonight. There'll be 8 tomorrow night at Cairns because of the extreme heat rule. Sinclair, well done by Reece Shaw. He snaffled it. Harris played every game last year. To Wells, he bends his back and then touches it, and inside was a hot ball for Grant. Couldn't quite make it in the end. Cook to Egan. Nice kick out wide. Medhurst, who missed a good chance, didn't he, Medhurst, with his shot on goal earlier in this quarter. He's probably a little too careful. As we have a look at the Collingwood bench, Loney in the centre there, Dale Thomas, who made such a spectacular start last year. Remember that screamer against the Crows in the opening round.
Wide of the pack, Wells, who's been dangerous. Sinclair, very tanned, hugs the boundary with a kick. Perfect. On the chest of Hale. Hale looking to get forward this season as well. That's an untidy kick out of bounds on the full.
Just needs to go back. A little bit excited there, David Hale.
Hiles to bring it in. Kicks beyond the wing, and a good kick too, pinpointing the ball. Maxwell's taken the mark, surrounded there by Kangaroos.
Got their numbers back here, the Kangaroos. No space for the Pies.
Johnson goes across the ground. Chansey, bad. Grant gets the hand pass away. Corey Jones inside the forward 50. Will it bounce? Yes, it does. Beautifully for Thompson. Doesn't break stride. 6 more points.
Playing it up the ground, forcing Wakeland to come right up inside the centre square, and double backed on him. And Wakeland, the legs aren't getting any younger. Couldn't keep up with the young Nathan Thompson, who looks like he's done a power of work over the pre-season break.
Make sure we got our eyes on the footy the whole time, okay?
21-20. Talked about the Kangaroos having to make an impression here tonight. Well, they've made a great start. Johnson for Collingwood. Harris had it for a while. Again, Johnson. Reece Shaw's been prominent. Both Dale Thomas and Scott Pendlebury are on for Collingwood.
Come over the shoulder, Simo. This bloke here. Let him go, that's the mark.
So Collingwood's free kick. This is Tuvey, one of their newcomers tonight. To Brian from Carlton. Gibson hurried it a bit. Wells was good enough though. Creates some space. Now he's in trouble. Cleverly back between his legs, but in big trouble here. Handball by Cloak. First time he's seen him up. High tackle.
Stay there, stay there.
Ben Johnson. Very creative. Neat kick inside. Pendlebury's just come on. Takes the mark.
He's a beautiful kick of the football. He'll go back. He needs to put it out to the left-hand side.
Timed it beautifully. Looks a good kick off the boot, doesn't it? Rams at home. So the 9-pointer.
He handed it off, saw the better option, and out to Cloak, who kicked it beautifully. The ball is swinging from left to right to the NAB end, but a great kick. Skills haven't been too bad for the first game of the season.
It's a clever play to Cloak.
Around the other side, stretching Hale, knocked away Maxwell. Hale manages a hand pass away. Jones taken down by Heath Shaw. Was it too high? Yes, it was.
Stay there.
Getting plenty of it, Jones. Handball over the top to Sinclair, who scored the first goal of the match. Back to Jones. Jones from about 90 metres. Little chip one, a good one to Hale. That goal by Cloak, by the way, $1,000 courtesy of NAB for super goals for the Park Orchards Footy Club, where Trevor's played a fair bit in his early days. So $1,000 for super goals. Now the Kangaroos loaded up too and tried the same thing. Doesn't work. And off hands, and that was Daniel Pratt. One of those 3 players. It was Pratt and Grant and Simpson who concluded their seasons early last year, so they could have the operations and get running with the players as quickly as October the 16th in some cases.
The game plan of the Kangaroos has changed. They're playing on at all cost. No matter what, play on.
Brian knocked it forward. Rawlings gets it away. Swallow out of the congestion, misses everything, and it bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket. That's a great shot, that high shot from in the pocket there. You can see the formations as they set up for a boundary throw in. How about that? A bird's eye view. In front, knocked down by Thompson. Wells swoops on the loose ball and manages to snap it behind.
5th season for Daniel Wells. 7 disposals so far tonight.
His year to step up and really take his game to the next level. And Dean Laley and the boys will be expecting that. He's a genuine superstar if he gets everything right.
Gee, I like this angle looking down here with Wakeland.
I get vertigo.
It's going to come wide. This is Tuvey, and he's gone very, very wide. And fortunately for Collingwood, it bounced just before the line. He was looking for Ryan Cook.
Look a bit harder inside the stoppages at the moment, where the Kangaroos winning a lot of the stoppages.
Brian front spot, Moran at the back, taken by Riggio to Grant. Well done, Campbell. First look at him. To Sinclair, to full forward. Thompson, McIntosh front spot, off the ground. Jones, clever, very clever goal. Well, Corey Jones having a night out here. A couple of his kicks have been ordinary, to be honest. It's been a little untidy, but he keeps getting the footy, and he is a goal a game man, and that's what he's been able to produce in the opening term.
Really good effort by McIntosh. Kept the ball front and square, exactly what he would have been told 100 times to do, and Jones, very experienced, knew exactly where to go. That is a set play at its best.
What about young Matthew Campbell? Very good in a confined space. A Ray Fiennes quality.
At the ball, at the ball.
Rucks go at it. Wells overran the football. Davis kicks inside the forward 50. Was there holding on? Who'll get the free kick? Medhurst will. 40 metres out directly in front.
Front position. Held his ground. Up against a strong boy in Gibson. He's quite big. Just had his arms around and caught one on the chin as well. Free kick was certainly there.
It's gone for the sleeper hold. Medhurst. Distance won't be a problem. Coming off a disappointing year last year, Paul Medhurst. Just a handful of goals. Leans back. It's going right to left, but it's okay. A 6-pointer. Margin back to 12.
Only got the 99 goals for Fremantle. Doesn't make it under the father and son. Be hoping to play a lot more footy in the black and white.
Well, you talked about him before the game, David, and he's made a promising start with a goal in the opening term. A couple of touches. Collingwood stay in touch. Winning the clearances 4-1 so far, the Magpies, but not on the scoreboard. Rawlings, who a couple of best and fairest, including last year, but started on the interchange. Jones having a night out, getting so much of it. Just sits it up. Thompson the target. Wakeland at the back, a fair bit of experience there. Davis waits for the footy almost, and then leans back and gets a good one away towards Cloak. Well done by Brian, but only as far as Grant. That was terrific hands by him. Petrie sweeps it out. Pratt on the burst now.
Alongside the centre circles, penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Wakeland got a fist on it. Jones went to ground, to his feet under pressure, slips a hand pass away, and the snapshot right across the face of goal from Campbell, and it's gone out of bounds on the foot.
Corey Jones has had a fair start. 7 touches early, 2 tackles, and 5 inside 50s.
Leon Davis is bulked up a bit.
Play on, you've crossed the line, play on!
And so is Daniel Wells. Heard the umpire. Wakeland. That's a good kick coming out. Around the other side, Pendlebury didn't have to break stride. Goes down towards the wing. Cook dropped the mark. Pratt, as a result, the beneficiary. Over the top, running out of space out there, but doing brilliantly was Jones. Now Pratt once more towards half forward. Good kick. And the mark is taken by Edwards, the former West Coast Eagle. He's a thumping kick. Liston Trophy winner. He was right on the line. It won't matter he's offline. That mark would have been an interesting adjudication for the umpires out there. Whether in fact it was a 9-pointer or a 6-pointer, doesn't matter.
Just have a look at his shoes. Stands out, confident. Not only the Liston medal, but also won the Frosty Miller. Most goals and kicked 100 last year.
Turnover here. Hale is playing forward tonight. Just chip kick to Sinclair, outnumbered. Grant with a chance. This is going to be tight. It's a good kick, though. It looks okay. It looks really good. It's a goal. Well, Sinclair stood up, didn't he? He was outnumbered. It was a funny old kick by Howell in the end, but those numbers of Collingwood worked against them in the end because it was Grant.
And they've been disciplined all night, the Kangaroos, and I know it's only early on, but front and square, held his position, got the ball down, and you can't beat experience. They know where the ball's going to go.
So the margin is 19 points. Corey Jones, 9 possessions so far. Still plenty of time in the term. Richards on the way down, barely. Moran, a good size. Wells, the high ball towards half forward. Clever mark, Hale. And spare a thought for Moran. That is a famous number to be carrying at such a tender age. There goes the kick from Hale. Well, it skids in low. On his knees was Burns. Wakelin a fumble. Richards in trouble. Just stolen away by Thompson. Going to ground. Got the hand pass. Edwards slips ones across to Sinclair. Sinclair about 25 metres out. He was tackled as he kicked, and that was enough. Another behind.
Crowding waves, the Kangaroos. Just pushing the ball forward.
Thomas to Egan. So Egan may be back to Thomas. No, not in the end. Gets it out wide and finds Alan Tuvey. His first game for the club. It's an awful kick. And Jones has had a terrific quarter, but he won't be able to get onto the left, and he's held up, but he does get the ball out towards Grant. Grant keeps his head over the ball. Rawlings has to squeeze it. Play on, not 20. Thompson, still Thompson. Thompson's kick across the ground is pretty good. Gives Edwards a chance. Maxwell with him in the pocket. And a boundary throw in. So Kangaroos lead it by 20 with just over 4 minutes remaining in the opening term.
Boundary throw in. Plenty of space towards the middle, as you can see. Hale trying to exploit that. Didn't succeed. Shaw's kick back to the centre square. Chopped off by Watt. High up and under. Thompson in best position at the back. Coming back with a flight of it. Hale. In trouble is Nichols. Stripped of the football. After it goes Richards, and he's conceded a 3-pointer right there. And he knew what he was doing. He was under extreme duress.
He had to. He was outnumbered 4-1. If he didn't, it may have been 6 points. Kangaroos just building up their wall, finding it very hard to get it out of defence, the Pies.
Loney short. Half volley by Egan. Back to Loney. Now he's on his wrong side. Now able to work to the left foot. To Nichols. A Matthew Bode lookalike. Nichols kicks to centre wing. And Collingwood free kick holding against Ferrito.
Pushing, but it was two hands in the back, yep.
And this is Nathan Brown, whose twin brother, Mitchell, was at West Coast this year. So his first kick for the Pies is a poor one. To Harris at centre half back. Undecided. Gibson, and now Gibson again, not sure, but then loads it up.
Towards half forward, guess who? Corey Jones been everywhere. Man on towards the pocket. Harvey. Too easy. Harvey will kick it goal from about 25 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Suggest the Collingwood players work out who's Jones is playing on or who can pick him up. He's just doing what he likes out there at the moment.
When I say you got a couple,
the link-up player.
That'll do. Wait for
Brent Harvey.
No closer than you are
That's
now.
a great record. Twice best and fairest.
Wait for my call, though. Just,
It's been quality football over that span. Right behind him. splits the middle.
They're sharp, the Kangaroos. They've come here to play, and all their stars are standing up. And if that happens with the Kangaroos, you know they're going to give their forwards plenty of opportunities.
Well, like Shannon Grant, one of the trademarks of Brent Harvey has been his ability to kick goals over a long period of time. It was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? The Kangas have given the Pies the slip here late in this term, and one of the reasons is that the pressure they're putting on Collingwood when they get it into their forward 50. That's the Kangaroos forward 50. They've had 7 effective tackles against Collingwood, and they're away again. Swallow goes to full forward on the lead. Thompson, good stretch. Not paid. Edwards' handball a little untidy under the gun. Harvey would love another. He's already kicked one. No, centering ball. Maxwell decided not to go for the mark, punches it away. Wells gets one in the back. Rather Campbell.
That's just undisciplined.
Make that Thomas. Third time lucky. Should remember him after that mark. Now Wells. Can he get a 9-pointer? Caresses the footy. Timed it beautifully. Just gave it too much of a hook in the end.
Nice change there by Dean Laley. He just came onto the ground. Well, straight up, got the handball. And they are using their bench. There are lots of rotations early on in the first quarter. It is pretty muggy.
9 possessions to Daniel Wells. Short one to the pocket. You can see a man hugging the boundary further afield coming to him. That's Thomas. Now Nichols decides to run. He's a left footer. What will he do? Plays it off to get another left footer, aided by a good shepherd. Johnson kicks it to midfield. Up in front, the mark is taken by Brown. Wants to go. Another left footer. They've got a few tonight. Most of their newcomers are left footers. Goes down towards half forward. Medhurst was up. In close attendance down there, Gibson. Socket off the ground inside the forward 50 by Johnson. Watt goes back. And the ball has gone across the boundary line on the bounce and will be thrown in. Inside, a minute remaining till quarter time. Game 1 in the NAB Cup.
Inside 50s, 18-7. And Jones himself for the Kangaroos has had 7.
So boundary throw-in decided after that meeting. Cloak, nicely done. On the ground, Simpson, and that ball is not coming out. Although it could be a free kick. Now the umpire decides he will throw it up. Dominant turn by the Kangaroos, as most people expected, coming in. They were likely to be hot. Knocked down by Richards, taken by Burns. Jams it on the boot, floats down towards full forward. Now some hanging on down there. We've got a whistle, hands in the back, in fact, against Medhurst, and the kick will go to Gibson.
Possibly last chance for Collingwood in this opening term. Sainsbury. Careful kick, found his mark. Watt. Back to Sainsbury. Sainsbury to centre wing. Chance to create here. Well done. Clever by Ferrito. Has given Simpson the opportunity here. Simpson getting it up to half forward. Bangs it inside 50. Hale running back. Kept his eye on the ball. Harvey clever off the ground. Off the ground. Thompson, no. Can't. But a good quarter for the Kangaroos. They made the running. And Collingwood had a 9-pointer in all of that. So it's 46-16.
Well, you're going to see some big numbers from the Kangaroos. We've talked about their change in style and change of game plan. There was stop-start last year. They'll get some really big numbers with the way that they're moving the ball. The old 1-2. And you'll see Jones, if he keeps at this rate, he'll be near on 50 possessions by the end of the match.
These two teams played in their last home and away match in 2006, and they're due to play in the opening match of 2007. They'll be sick of one another by the time they get to the MCG on that Saturday afternoon. So can Collingwood make an impression on the board here? Start of the second quarter.
Jump the ball, jump the ball.
First night of the NAB Cup. So McIntosh in the ruck for the Kangas. Harris couldn't break the tackle. Thomas stood up well for Collingwood. Pratt just went without it. Sinclair. Johnson had a lot of it in the first quarter. Here's Pendlebury. Kick inside and missed by Rusling. Gibson. Back turn. He's in a bit of strife now for Rito. He's run out, I think. But ball probably just in. McIntosh with a great height advantage, and he uses it cleverly. And then swings it inside to Sinclair. Sinclair through the heart now of the centre square.
High ball down towards half forward. Hale the target. Nichols at the back. Hurriedly on the left boot. Back towards the wing. Pendlebury did well a couple of times. It was taken high advantage, will be paid. Umpire Head standing alongside Davis, who goes inside the 50. And that's a great mark going back, taken by Gibson. Perito sold into trouble. The kick affected. Burns got the hand pass away. Medhurst, now O'Brien, inside the forward 50. Hangs an eternity in the air. Riggio floated in, got a fist on it. In fact, it was Hansen. Riggio led in the race. Watt. Now they'll bring it away. Petrie kicks it just beyond the wing. Going back, Bryan dropped the mark. Thomas, too slick. Cut off by Shaw. Heath Shaw floats one down towards half forward. Hansen gives away a free. Getting into the back of Nathan Brown.
Two young guns together. Brown for Collingwood. Hansen taken number 3 in the draft. First pick for the Kangaroos. So Brown's first kick was a bad one. The second one's no better to Riggio. He's kicking to the centre. Riggio's second NAB Cup match. He hasn't played a home and away game yet. Heath Shaw to Burns. Burns and Wakeland, the two very experienced Collingwood players tonight. To Bryan. To Nichols. Good left leg as he got the carry to Thomas. It's running away, and it'll be a boundary throw. And so Collingwood inside 50, trailing by 30 in the early stages of this second term.
Fair to say Nathan Brown at this stage doesn't kick like a Nathan Brown.
It's only very early.
I know. McIntosh directs it down. Hansen kicks it virtually straight up in the air. Comes again, tried to punch it forward. Claiming a mark is Medhurst. Medhurst appealed to the umpire, nothing doing. Ball spills across to Sinclair. Just outside the defensive 50. Penetrating kick towards half forward. Some holding on there. O'Brien could have got a free. Nothing doing. Grant with experience just kicks it to space. I think he spotted Harvey. Harvey decides to try and back heel it, if you don't mind. How cheeky was that? He tried to go back to Jones. And Heath Shaw dribbled it forward and kicked it out of bounds on the full. Well, I am sure in that situation Harvey tried to back heel. Here's Sinclair, got it from Riggio.
To Harris, and again a pretty poor kick. Cut off by Dick. Rusling up the ground. Good tackle there by Rusling, and then thrown away by Davis. Harris getting plenty in and under, as he often does, to Simpson. Simpson, poor handball to McIntosh. Burns now starting to get a bit of it. Johnson, could Collingwood build something here? Just a messy little opening to the second term. Pendlebury had a bit of it. To Reece Shaw, wider still to Thomas, back to Pendlebury. Two very high draft picks in the last couple of years for Collingwood. Harris, high tackle, free kick. And now Sinclair. But nothing much happening for either side at the start of the second term.
Hansen drives it wide, setting Hale a task out there. Maxwell too nimble. He was crunched, got it away to Bryan, kicks inside the forward 50, it bounces down towards the pocket. Brown goes after it, kept it alive. Gibson tackled by Rusling. Sinclair with some time, swings it around the outer side, just inside the field of play. Mark is taken out there by Simpson.
No structure for the Pies. Going inside, they've been inside 6 times.
Perito did well. Ditto Wells. Riggio gets it on. Pratt forced to go back. Perito over the top. Now Wells from Petrie. Inside the centre square. Unloads. Thompson in front. Off hands. Thomas runs in and gets the goal. Not the prettiest. He's got that arm pump working.
a dream start for the kid, isn't it? It wasn't a pretty kick, but he managed to. That would have been embarrassing if he missed.
I think he was planning his celebration before he actually kicked it. 2 arms or one, Bruce.
So first time Kangaroos have gone inside 50 for the quarter. Thomas kicks his second goal of the match. Now comes from the field. Dick's handball good to Johnson. He's a penetrating kick. Brown a chance here. Well done by Hansen. So they are playing the kids on one another. The two recruits. Laidley with Hansen and Malthouse with Brown. Harris spent it before he had it. Now he's got to try and work Tuvey over to Wells. Still with Wells. Created some space, but the tackle from Brian was a good one. And he was able to put the hold on Wells. So Brian coming from Carlton, what sort of a role can he play? Along with Richards, if they can just take the ruck, it means that Fraser, when he comes back, could be a very valuable player forward. Here's Cloak, who got the super goal in the opening term.
Towards the middle. The mark is taken by Brad Dick. His uncle, Willie Dick, a fine player in the WAFL. This is Heath Shaw. Has some very good pedigree as well. Goes down to half forward Burns. Loney just on the ground. He's a specialist with the 9-pointer. Here it comes. He rushed through the interchange gates, but he's a little rusty. And he's put it out of bounds on the full. So quick thinking by Loney, and it may have been something that the coaching staff had set up. There's Pratt to bring it in. Must say too, for the naysayers about the hands in the back, it hasn't been a factor tonight. And I, for one, I might be the only voice in Australia, but I think it's a terrific rule.
Let me think about it. Kick to centre wing. Thomas. Jones. And right in front of us, a boundary throw in. So Kangaroos making all the running here with their experience line up tonight as the Pies bench. Harry O'Brien went off a moment ago. He may be the first little injury we've had tonight.
Just looks proppy as he was going off. Looked very distressed.
Dick looks good, doesn't he? That's a clever handball to Pendlebury, to Johnson. And Dick again. Pressure from Campbell. Riggio into his back, maybe. Play on call. And now Pratt. And that's out on the full.
Wow. That's out of the stadium.
And it'll probably go right back to where he was when he kicked it, because it was very quickly out on the full. And Pendlebury to take it.
Getting their numbers back, the Kangaroos. Nothing inside 50. As you can see there, a lot of numbers. And Pendlebury has nowhere to go.
Walks inside the boundary. That's not 20. Reece Shaw to Davies just on the ground. Replaced Dick. Good shepherd from Nichols. Davies right across the face of Carrara. Play-on's the call. Went backwards behind that middle line. Wakeland in short to Cloak. There's the line you can see on the outer side.
And you only have to look at the high shot.
As we follow the line across the ground. Short one once more.
That's the mark.
Davies. And now Isles around the boundary, kicks towards the pocket, sliding in on his knees. McIntosh, he's been handy to the opposite pocket, and now Pratt decides to run it out, headed for the defensive 50 and beyond. Looking up the ground now. Well done by Hansen. Running alongside, offering a shepherd. This is what.
Rain coming down pretty heavily at the Gold Coast Stadium suddenly. Haven't scored anything, the Magpies, for 20 minutes. So they're in a drought as it's pouring here at Carrara.
Contest. There, you're going to drop in that hole.
What a year he had, Heath Shaw.
Had a wonderful year. Started at Williamstown, played 2 games in the one weekend and got his opportunity and grabbed it with both hands.
It's okay, well done.
Brian McIntosh. McIntosh boots it forward. Grant inside to Jones. First time we've seen him in this quarter. He had a super first term. Thompson in front. Wells brilliant. Handball over the top. Oh, he stretches Hale. Stretches him too far in the end. Still a chance. Hale comes back. Didn't go 20. Heard the Thompson. Well, a give-me goal in the end has come unstuck. Egan gets it from Davies. Oh, it takes a long, long time, Egan. Collingwood will be all right, I think, though. Johnson to Loney to Burns. Some experience there. Burns over the top. Johnson away to Davis.
To half forward, Rusling. Should have come harder there, really outnumbered though. Petrie did well, this is for Rito. Comes away. Gibson. Thought of half back, swings it out wide. Advantage was going to be paid. He's had the explanation behind play. Harris to Jones, gets through, 45 metres out, kicks a goal.
Well, that started from Matt Campbell. A wonderful tackle on the other side of the ground. That's what you want from your little forwards. Pressure. I think Aaron Davies said the benchmark with how you put forward pressure upon backman taking the ball out.
Got a quick sit, mate.
Well, Collingwood have been inside their 50 on 8 occasions in the second term and haven't scored. Kangaroos on 3 and they've kicked 2 goals. So right now they're very efficient. Moran in the ruck against Bryan. And the Kangaroos starting to win it everywhere at the moment, particularly on the scoreboard. 58-16. Isles got a high one. He was under pressure. And Kangaroos keeping the pressure up.
Michael!
Jesse Sinclair's had a great start to the game. Playing in the midfield, yeah, having a run around the midfield, mate, and enjoying it. So it's going well at the moment. Kicked an early goal. Yeah, got a snag, which I'm happy about. So hopefully get a few more.
Not sure who's got the better tan, Jess or Ricky. Rawlings to Harris. Harris to fall forward, just across the face. Wakeland did pretty well on Thompson. And a boundary throw in.
It's a big margin.
Eyes up, men. Arms free, straight up.
Hale to do the ruck work, brings it to the back.
Get it out, that's it.
Rawlings just worried out of it. Johnson did really well and then bangs a high one. All the numbers are with the Kangaroos. Brown did pretty well at the back there.
Close to the boundary line, Sainsbury initially kept it alive. Now it's out. And congratulations due to the Kangaroos too for having the foresight to let us do things like that. Early in the season, talk to some of the veterans. Too early, I'm sure, to talk to some of the youngsters. They're concentrating on their footy. That's not to say Jess isn't concentrating on his footy. Rawlings, Wells, Sainsbury in the centre circles. High ball. Maxwell with courage goes back and does very well. Lays it off. Loney towards the wing and Cloak. It's a slippery ball now. Watt gets back first, confronted by Cloak, takes him on, didn't hand pass it well enough. He missed the football with his right hand, so Cloak gets the free, forward of the wing. They've been breaking down across half forward. That's a good kick though, into the corridor. The mark is taken by Richards. Now Richards looking for somebody inside the 50, goes across the ground. And the mark is taken outside the 50.
This is where they've broken down all night.
And I think that's Pendlebury. Or is it Tuvey? Well, Shaw's got it now. It may have been Cook. Kicks inside the 50. Dropped down there by Hansen. Now, the deal is, fellas, when somebody's in a situation like that, grab your earlobe and say, sounds like. Short one. Here's Petrie in trouble. For Rito on the overlap at centre half back. They change with Water. This is Hale in the rain. Sliding in down there was Swallow. Immediately in trouble. It's slapped out of the pack for Rito. Well, he caught his teammate out, but Rawlings went after it. Harvey arches the back, slides away from Davis. Long ball.
McIntosh the target, outnumbered. Campbell quick, very quick. Very, very quick left foot. Goal. Well, raining goals, isn't it? Not unexpected when you looked at the two teams prior to the match, but Dean Lady's going to be pretty happy with some of his youngsters tonight.
He's only on the rookie list. We'll be able to see him throughout the NAB Cup. But with efforts like that, look out.
Well, the youngsters are doing some good things here for the Kangas.
It's exciting. Very exciting for Kangaroos.
Jump at the ball, go the footy. Good, yeah, good work. That's good, well done.
Thomas and Campbell to the fore. Well done, Reece Shaw. To Thomas. Inside Johnson, a 9-pointer perhaps. And he kicked it outside the line, but he didn't really get it, did he? And it's a behind. He's had a lot of it, Ben Johnson. Had a magnificent first half to last season. 16 possessions in the opening half. Danger.
Right out.
So against Medhurst.
Brady Rawlings.
Play on.
He started on the bench after last season, entitled to a bit of a break. Down in front, Moran, beautifully built. Simpson, Sainsbury, towards half forward. Heath Shaw, hands in the back, is penalised.
Yeah, the hands in the back. No, you had two hands in the back, open hand. No, on the full. No, that's the rule.
No doubting that.
No, it was
That's
in the
where
back.
it's tricky, though.
No, he's not.
You're backing back into the player, and he's holding his ground.
Allowed to use your forearm, though. There's Thomas inside the forward 50. Knocked away by Wakelin, who goes after the football. Too slick by half. He tried to give it to Egan. Advantage is paid in any case. Wakelin was taken to the deck when he didn't have the football, but Egan just walks away, kicks it beyond the wing, and the mark is taken by Bryan. I just felt last year a real tenet of the game to play in front was almost non-existent. It was becoming advantageous to play from behind. Not what we were taught as kids. Here's Moran. We've got all generations covered in this box too. We go back a long way. Swallow paddles it towards the outer side. Sainsbury went down. Petrie has it inside the centre square. Kicks it down towards left half forward. Runs inside the 50. Coming across on the angle is Maxwell. Well, that's interesting. Slams it back as if he had a silver hammer. Goes back to Wakelin. And Wakelin comes out towards left half back. Dropped there by Shaw. Shaw knocks it towards the boundary. Camped over the football is Thomas, and it spills out of bounds.
Here it is. Got the one arm on the shoulder. I consider that a little unlucky.
He was.
Still trying to work out if I'm in the same generation as you, Dennis, or the one above you.
Same, I think, Bruce. I think.
64-17.
Well, that's a favourable call to me, I think. You shouldn't have asked.
Straight up, men.
Hale, Richards, quick kick by Simpson. Hear the call of the umpire. Hale again, back to Riggio, to Harvey. Not 20, Sainsbury got a high one, but ducked into it. Burns trying to crash his way through. Harvey to Ferrito, to Gibson. Gibson from about 80 metres. Kick to the pocket. Outnumbered is Edwards. Still with Edwards. Give off okay to McIntosh. Back to Simpson on his wrong side now. Doesn't get a lot of purchase on the ball. Maxwell front spot. Held his ground. Kept his eye on it. Little kick. Won't be 20. Loney goes for Collingwood. McIntosh back to Maxwell. Maxwell to Reece Shaw. And does it cleverly in the end, and then takes a chance in the wet weather, and it doesn't come off.
Harris to Swallow then, 55 metres out. The young West Australian, Longerwood's full forward. McIntosh coming back, but Wakelin, plenty of experience. Needs it all right here. Nothing up ahead for him. Heath Shaw kicks short of the wing, storming up the ground on the outer side, then missing the football out there was Cook. Tries to give it across to Wiles. He's got plenty of company. On his knees, Rawlings heard the voice. Fed it back. They've got some time. They needed it all. Harvey's kick not good. Bounces across towards Gibson. And Midhurst applying a giant suplex takes him down.
This is Reece Shaw.
That's the look away bounce.
He was looking away. Came back to his hands but didn't grab it.
That'll kill you.
Harvey to Sainsbury to Ferrito to Petrie. So the Kangaroos do the switch up. Good kick to Moran. He's a likely type, isn't he? Got a Rising Star nomination in his first game last year in round 21. Kicked to half forward, but Collingwood with some numbers. And Heathshaw.
Play on! Play on! Play on! Backwards! Play on! Play on!
To Isles. 4 games last year.
Nothing up forward.
To Egan. Just 20. Egan wide. To Dick. Burns on hands and knees. So Collingwood slowly building. Big switch now. Waitley. This is probably the important kick in the movement now. Can he find somebody?
Numbers are back. They're just putting them back at the top of the 50. Have to go wide and high.
Reece Shaw outnumbered, but he does really well, Reece Shaw, and then just misses. So Collingwood with just 2 points since quarter time.
Sainsbury heard the call, not 20. That was though. McIntosh drew a man, popped it over the top. Riggio goes out wide. No mark though. Picked up by Swallow, who's been lively. Got it across to support, and the kick comes from Grant inside the 50. Coming up the ground was Edwards. Thomas there, step for step. Edwards trying to feed it out. In trouble was Grant. He's going to get the free kick. Advantages paid. Edwards goes goalward and hit the post. It didn't bounce back on the field of play. Behind.
Quick movement by Heathshaw to Davies. So can Collingwood get a late goal here and salvage something from the first half?
We've got Brent Harvey here on the boundary line. A lot of midfield rotations.
There is, mate. It's very humid out here, so Dean's used our policy and rotating the midfielders through the bench.
A couple of exciting boys up forward, Matt Campbell and Lindsay Thomas.
Yeah, a couple of Aboriginal boys, mate. They're on fire. Kicked a couple of goals each, so hopefully they can continue in the second half.
Grant. So not a good kick, but he's had a good first half.
Play on! Play on!
Heathshaw to centre wing. Bryan just got the little push from Petrie.
Just contrasting ways that they're moving the ball up and down the ground. Collingwood almost tacking, where the Kangaroos are just thrusting the ball forward.
So Bryan, who's a thumping kick, and he gets the ball inside the 50, but Ferrito in the front spot. He's had a good first half.
Let him get the ball, that's it.
Hasn't been under a whole lot of pressure back there, but Kangaroos dominating here.
Play on!
And Sainsbury with it, but at half-time, it's the Kangaroos over Collingwood. It's 65-18. They've made all the running. Collingwood with the 9-pointer in the first half, but the Kangaroos lead by 47.
Been explosive, the Kangaroos, from stoppages. They've moved the ball on at all times, and the Kangaroos have got plenty of tricks up their sleeves still with their rotations through the bench. Collingwood regrouping, but got it all in front of them at the moment. Mick Malthouse just looking what moves he can make to get them back into the game.
So that's the situation at half-time at the Gold Coast Stadium. Kangaroos making all the running over Collingwood. It's 65-18.
Start of the second half at Carrara, game 1 in the NAB Cup. Guy Richards to renew his battle with Hamish McIntosh. But most of the battles tonight won by the Kangaroos. And the umpires denying us the slap into the turf tonight. They're throwing it up even in the middle. Well, was that a free kick to Riggio? Nothing doing. Petrie did well. Dived in, slapped it out. Shaw gets it away to Thomas. Across the body, close to the boundary line. Ben Johnson outnumbered. Well done by Sainsbury. Got him out of the way. The hand pass from Riggio untidy, though. Intended for Sinclair. And it runs out of bounds. Sinclair started very well.
He's been okay too, Riggio. I've admired his attack on the ball in the early part of this game.
Boundary umpire in 10. McIntosh and Richards falls in front. Burns goes hard after the football. Found it too. Well done. Reece Shaw. Thompson. Davis on his chest on the wing. This is where the problems have started. Davis looking for a target. Cloak too far away. Not really coming with conviction, Cloak. Just drifting back inside the 50. As a result, Davis hugs the boundary line. It took a long time to develop. Simpson with courage went back, took the mark to Sainsbury.
To try and build something up. Ferrudo. Sainsbury in space, but forced to hurry. Hard ball here for Moran, who's been pretty impressive in the first half, as he was late last year. Pratt's left-hand handball didn't go very far. Turvey just paddled it a bit. Burns, who also got a fair bit of it in the second quarter. Penderbury, good to Burns. Can't break Moran's tackle, is a good one.
Just in time.
I heard the umpire say, got his handball in time. Johnson from 65. Good kick to Davis. Got him. Wonderful kick.
Straight in front.
Brilliant kick by Johnson. Davis was lurking.
There's only really two ways they're going to score tonight. One was kicking a ball from outside 50. The other was getting it over that wall of players that the Kangaroos have been building.
And Davis kicks the goal. So Collingwood get the first of the second half. There's a long way back for them, but they get it to under 42 points. He is a bit of a ball magnet, Tim, isn't he, Johnson?
This is a really good kick too. He sized up his options. He knew that he had to kick deep into that forward line, and Leon Davis there, who's been pretty quiet for most of the night.
No substitute for a kick that gets there quickly, and that ball slicing through the night air. Ben Johnson, 17 possessions. And that was Collingwood's first goal, the 16-minute mark of the opening term. The ball comes out, taken by Watt. Kicks it down towards running back with the flight of it. Marked down there by Maxwell. Thomas. Now they run it out. Isles kicks wing. Sainsbury in front. Had it knocked away close to the boundary line. Cloak follows up. Nichols there too, but it's out of bounds.
Thomas is going to have a lot of the ball this quarter. He's been playing as a free player across half back. Adam Simpson has been the Kangaroos free player in the early part of the third quarter across half back.
McIntosh just got rid of Richards. Nichols is over it for a moment.
No, that's held in. No chance, guys. Ball's held in.
It's important, though, if you're going to play that free player back there, that you've got to use the ball well.
Wells over the top. Good play in the end. Simpson to centre half forward. Moran front spot. Thompson at the back. Grant waited, then tries to ride the tackle. Gets a little left footer out. Hale's attack was okay. Sloppy handball, but he was under the gun. Moran did pretty well. Wakelin, who Tim talked about, is having a pretty good open. Harvey, clever, got it back. Tuvey against the flow. Okay. Heath Shaw with some poise. Good. On to the left.
Centre half back swings it out towards the outer side wing. Nichols is in front. Pursued and corralled by Sainsbury. Had to back off. You heard Tim. 18 possessions now for Ben Johnson. Racking them up, but no support. Chance forward of the play here now after Sainsbury got the hand pass to Sinclair. Kicks inside the forward 50. And there's going to be a free kick to Wakelin. Advantage is paid. Heath Shaw to Reece Shaw, the defensive side of the wing. Intent on drawing Riggio. Kicks now. Was bumped in the back. He was bumped late. Rusling to get the free.
Where you are, Max, where you are?
Rusling's first kick is about 75 metres out. Goes across the ground. Johnson once more. Sets it up. They've got two spare men on the outer side, getting in on the blind side. Pendlebury goes with the left boot, and it's good.
That was a good setup then by the Magpies. Rusling took the ball on the half-forward line. It's a dangerous kick for a kick. If it doesn't hit its target, but it did. And then they opened up the space on the fat side of the ground, and that's where Pendlebury just lined it up from. And he's a young kid that they'll be looking to really improve from his performance last year too. Big raps on this kid as a midfielder.
So Collingwood just eating into this massive lead the Kangaroos had at half-time. And still a big margin, but back to 35.
Straight at it, guys. This guy, eyes on the footy. Straight at it.
Pendlebury with a fair bit of it, and now a goal. Sinclair booms it out of the centre, goes to centre half forward, crowded forward line. Thompson out the back, and a couple of Collingwood in front of him. Reassured, just a little paddle towards Loney. Well done, Swallow. Moran, Grant off the ground by Maxwell. He's a courageous player, Maxwell. Harvey back to Watt. He had to wait. Thomas put the first tackle on him. And then Nichols, Pendlebury again to Johnson. Collingwood enjoying a really good little patch now. Reassured on the burst. Kicked just a little bit too far. For Ruslan, gets back to Simpson on his wrong side. That floating right footer that we've seen so often in the past, and it found its target in the end of Moran.
Originally from England, Moran, his father was a soccer player of some note. Now with the Kangaroos, and he looks the part, goes in, looking for Hale on the lead, bounces off his chest and goes out of bounds. So for the first time tonight, the Kangaroos are being challenged.
Dennis, and Dean Lately's decided that he doesn't want Dale Thomas playing as a free player down there. They've sent another man down there. He's now accountable to a direct opponent.
Early going third term, margin 35 points. Loney thumps it back towards the boundary, and it goes out in front of Wells. Dean Lately looking on, looking for better things this season. Last season was a test for the coach in all sorts of directions, in areas perhaps he'd never thought of.
Block.
Boundary throw in. Sure, that's Heath. Bumps it wide of the congestion. Grant flicks it across to support, and Harris. Harris goes inside the forward 50. On the lead down there was Thompson. Wakeland did. Spills, and the kick comes in from Riggio. And I think it's okay, it is.
Good work, Mick.
Once again, it was a Wakeland spoil. That's 9 times in the course of this game he's had a direct spoil on Nathan Thompson. He's had a miserable night, Nathan Thompson, but they just didn't have the numbers at the fall of the ball there, Collingwood, to clear it. And the Kangaroos were able just to get another a fairly simple goal, given that it looked like Collingwood were going to be able to mop that up and actually start something from deep in their back half.
Just going to come back out that way, guys. Thanks. Just on that bit of an angle. Thank you. Radio, eyes up. Eyes on the footy, fella. Thanks, Guy. Same-ish.
So 71 to 30. Riggio's goal gets the margin back to 41. Harris and Simpson combining in the centre. Sinclair. Terrific match so far. A good feel in the end from Nichols. Now a bit of strife. Put Sandry under the pump, and that was just a bit loose by Nichols because they had him done to a dinner, didn't they?
Lucky to get out. That's the lateral kick had to go across to Watt across the other side of the ground.
Ferrito provides a bit of run, and then good kick way inside 50. Push out free kick surely to Jones.
That's the second time that Heath Shaw has done that tonight.
Push. No, there was a push. Push, Heath. Give the ball back, please. Hands in the back, mate.
Oh, just because it's a new rule doesn't mean you have to...
Too early in the cut. That was no, it wasn't the rule. It was a push. Not hands in the back, it's a push.
You didn't even touch
In the contest. Sure? Mark's here, okay?
Can I just say, I didn't like his defence there, Dennis.
No. Reach for the sodium pentothal.
Jones. Good view. And it away.
all clear.
Did he say
Didn't touch
clearly
him.
then that he didn't push him in the back?
He
Didn't
did.
touch. I think if you dusted him for Prince, you'd prove otherwise. There's Loney out of the back pocket to Burns. A couple of the veterans combining. Burns back towards the middle. I think it went backwards as well. You heard the call. Heath Shaw drives it, a long telling kick outside the defensive 50. Maxwell, Wakeland has the bounce, kicks beyond the wing. Front was cloaked, didn't watch the footy in, and then grabbed Harvey to compound the problem, and Harvey gets the free kick. And he's a feisty customer.
No, you got the free kick, all right? Just take the kick and relax. Back to him.
Not a lot of relaxation up ahead either. Thomas and Petrie. Harvey, meantime, breaks, kicks towards half forward. By Burns, down went Sinclair, trying to soccer it forward. Grant in the opposite direction. Down there was Turvey, loose ball bouncing around. So too Harris, over the shoulder, not effective though. It came to Nichols, who kicks it out towards left half forward. 2-1. Kangaroos favoured. Pratt, well, that's a terrific tackle by Cloak, should have been rewarded. No free. In goes Sansbury. He's tackled close to the boundary line, taken down by Nichols, and the umpire has decided that was holding the ball. So they get the second kick. And this young fella has been putting himself about and trying very hard.
Finds Johnson. Centering ball. Petrie at the back. Davis underneath it. Here's Riggio. Scored the last goal for the Kangaroos. He's got the numbers here. McIntosh able to get it to Ferrito. On to Rawlings. Started on the interchange. Had a pretty quiet night. Hasn't had to do a whole lot. Grant. He's had a fair bit of the footy, as he so often does. Neat kick actually to centre half forward. Thompson on the lead again. Wakeland doing so well. And then Loney to Pendlebury. A couple of those left footers that didn't know about in this team. Max will probably spend it for a moment. And then a poor kick. Here's Nichols again. Now can he be constructive? On the left. And that's a better kick and finds Rusling, who's had a very quiet night at full forward to Johnson. Now Johnson thought he might go for the 9-pointer. Centering kicks a beauty. And Johnson creating so much here for Collingwood with his hard running and accurate kicking. And Burns with a chance to score the goal.
Intelligent use of the ball there. He looked up and he saw Leon Davis running to the goal square again, but he just pulled his kick.
Good here, no close to 28.
It's the third mark for Collingwood inside 50 this term. They only had one for the whole of the first half. Burns right on the 50. Good looking kick. It's a goal. So Collingwood doing all right in this term. They've come out after half-time and they've plugged away.
They're running better from half-back, but they're still missing a lot of their targets. They're a little bit rusty in the way they're playing, Collingwood. But they're still trying and they're still finding some ways to get the ball deep into their forward line. On that occasion, it was an intelligent piece of work there by Johnson to kick the ball across ground there to Burns.
Coming out that way, guys.
Ball back in the centre, and as we told you earlier, Ricky Olorenshaw right across the story that Harry O'Brien has gone to hospital, a local hospital here, as a result of a rib injury. We'll take a look at that again. In fact, we don't have that. Grab your earlobe, sounds like. Back in the middle, Moran goes up, beaten for it though. Storming through was Bryan. He was the man that got the ruck knock, but they can't get it out of the centre, Collingwood. Sinclair, high ball inside the forward 50. Taken by Hale, who just threw it on the boot and just missed.
All clear.
The big guy cast in the role of an opportunist right there.
Interesting move to play him at centre half forward too. I don't know whether or not he's going to have the endurance to play there right throughout the season, but it's worked well tonight for the Kangaroos.
Johnson getting so much of it for Collingwood at both ends of the ground. Now to Pendlebury. Maxwell with a lot of courage there, and Pratt. Medhurst, quiet night. Back to Pendlebury. He's had quite a bit of it. Cloak. Not paid. Now Nichols runs into a couple of Kangaroos and he's gone.
Give it to him. Let him up, let him up. Let him up. Play on.
Sinclair from centre wing. High ball to half forward. Edwards took his eyes off it. World to full forward. Thompson able to turn. Loney. Goal to Thomas. He's got three. one in each quarter. Well, he's made a statement, hasn't he?
There's a lot to like about him, and also Campbell and Daniel Wells too. The thought out of Arden Street is that since these other two Aboriginal boys arrived, then Daniel Wells has actually grown as an individual as well, and he's very happy to have both those young players on his side at the moment, and they are going to do some real damage this year.
What do they say? If you fall off the horse, get back on. Harry O'Brien in hospital, as we told you, as a result of this collision. Here's Harry, number 30.
Okay, boys, you're up.
It appears an errant knee in the ribs.
Good.
Back in the centre.
Knock it out.
Grant goes down in a very strong tackle, and the umpire wants it again.
Not a lot of protection on that part of your anatomy either.
No, especially when you're reaching up.
1-1.
79 plays 36. 6.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Game 1 in the NAB Cup. Sinclair did well to Pratt. Across half-back, Sainsbury has been busy in this term, although that hand pass is not good. Standing his ground, Pendlebury did well. Johnson, possibly the best man on the ground, single-handedly manufacturing opportunities for Collingwood. Clark went after the football. Nichols, too slippery for Egan. Sliding in Gibson, could have been taken high.
Got him.
Mick Malthouse wouldn't have been happy with the way that Travis Cloak
50
drove.
metres. Abusive. Got him right around the head.
He would have been happy with the way he dropped that ball, Cloak, but he would have been particularly happy with the way he went after it again. He showed real physical pressure then.
Okay, here.
Clearly over the shoulder then.
Play on, guys. Play on.
So Gibson called to get on with it, and he does to Farida, and then gets it back through the centre square and just measures it to about the 30-metre mark. Hale against the flow, numbers everywhere. Thomas has kicked 3. And not that time.
He reads it beautifully off the pack, though, doesn't he?
He's what they need, isn't he?
He's an old-fashioned, isn't he? He's an old-fashioned crumbing forward. That's exactly what they need, Dennis.
So Loney from the back pocket to Dale Thomas. So Collingwood have got the margin back only ever so slightly from 47 to 44. Missed by Pratt and then ripped off it by Medhurst, who arches his back and he's able to get away, and then inside to Bryan. Heard the play on call. Now Bryan loads up and goes bang with a long one.
He can do that. He can kick it a long way, but the judgment shown by Farida going back, took the clever mark, plays on.
Numbers up the centre.
Hansen looks straight up the middle too. It was set up for the man at the back, but he didn't judge it well, and as a result it runs on nicely for Moran into the path of Simpson. Coming outside the 50 is Jones. He's about 52 metres out, steps right to the 50, goes long. This will be an interesting call.
Super goal. Super goal.
Super goal is called.
Come on, man. Good work.
See Dean Latham there. Not too many problems for him tonight, but they chose the right option then off half-back, the Kangaroos. They could have gone out wide, but they elected to come back through the corridor. Hale led up the ground. Moran, he really impresses me, Moran. He's a very much improved player. If they can get him into the ruck, capable of holding down one of those positions, it gives them a lot of options to use their taller players elsewhere.
Well, the two lefties, Jones for the Kangaroos and Johnson for Collingwood, having big nights. Jones now with the super goal and 2 conventional 6-pointers. Simpson to Moran. He's a likely type, isn't he? To Sinclair. And Sinclair again to that hot spot, getting back Heathshaw front spot. Campbell, still with Campbell. Well, Thomas has got 3. Campbell's got 2.
All clear.
Well, they're not the Cracker brothers, but you're seeing something out here, aren't you? 5 goals from the 2 youngsters.
Well, they've been rotating for most of the night. They're both out there at the minute, but they read the ball so well, and their finish. Just watch it. What I liked about that was he got to the contest early. He actually just stopped. He waited for the hands. The ball just feathered to the ground nicely for him, and he's a wonderful finisher too. Just watch this. There he is, just right in the right spot. That is front and centre crumbing.
And the super goal, they're rejoicing at Witchy-Proof Narraport.
Jump at the
or
footy.
Witcher-proof Maripor? Which one is it, Bruce? Witcher-proof?
Either will do.
Okay, thank you.
I thought you were correct on both occasions, Dennis.
All three, actually.
Come back on the line, thanks.
It's in the mallee.
That $1,000 to his junior club, Corey Jones. Well done.
Yours!
Reece Shaw to half forward. And he slotted it right in there, almost demanding the mark of the man on the lead. And Cloak is about 53 metres out, and he can kick it a long way.
Not without a chance from here.
No. Could be more cash. Not with that kick, though. Out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket.
Thanks right there. Stay out, Leon, right out. Right out, we're back here.
Just got a bit close to the man on the mark in the end, didn't he?
He didn't get any momentum at all coming through the ball.
Play on.
So Ferrito in a bit of strife, and then Pratt has to be really cute. And McIntosh misses the lot. And Davis is in the pocket. Back turn was good to Thomas. Thomas centering ball. Good mark, Petrie.
Stay there. Stay holding. Stay there. Play on.
He'll be one of the big hopes down back again this year for the Kangaroos.
Play on!
Poor handball by Watt. Missed Ferrito. Pendlebury got rid of him. Cook. Back to Reece Shaw. Good tackle, though.
Had no chance there. The ball was pinned. As soon as he took it, the ball was pinned.
Brad Moran, local Gold Coast boy. Must be great playing in front of your home crowd.
Yeah, mate, it's fantastic. It's good to have a good home support here as well. It's good to see all the numbers turned up. Fantastic, yeah.
Speaking of that crowd, 11,341, so sold out tonight at Carrara.
Thank you.
As Paul Medhurst will line up at goal. You heard the umpire saying that time is of the essence right here. 12 goals last season for Paul Medhurst. And I think looking back, you've got to say that invariably the combination of Medhurst and Farmer seemed like a dysfunctional blind date for the Fremantle Dockers. So he's hoping for something a little bit better. And the Collingwood strip comes in 45 metres out, and he's tugged it to the left to behind.
It's been really difficult for him tonight because they haven't had a lot of space to operate in. They've been outnumbered for most of the game. The Kangaroo defenders have been falling right back across that half-back line. He'll benefit when the other key Collingwood players come back into the side. Buckley and Rocker in that forward line will make a huge difference.
Gives him back to Watt. So Watt in the defensive 50 still. Kicks to centre wing. That's Nathan Brown. The third Nathan Brown in the competition. Rusling. That's better. To Reece Shaw.
Stay there. That's it right there.
He'd be happy with that, Sean Rusling. He's had a really quiet night, but he's had a couple of touches in this quarter, trying to set up maybe for the 50. Davis, Reece got into all sorts of trouble, and they've blown it. Harris, good vision, Harris. He had one chance, and then whirls to Swallow, to Campbell. Watch out. Still with Campbell. Lovely little kick inside. Second grab, marked by Edwards.
It's not just his skills, it's his decision-making as well. He had three options when he was going forward then. He could have gone deep into the pocket, chose the right option. The best percentage kick here as we see this mess up from Reece Shaw across half-back, which led to the turnover. Good hands there by Daniel Harris too, just to clear the ball.
It's a strange setup Edwards has when he goes forward. Off 3-4 steps, good kick, goal. He's also, Tim, I think, an interesting player. Whether he can make a difference to the Kangaroos this year, Edwards.
Well, I think he just gives them another option. I think he's been pretty lively tonight, and he's not afraid to move up the field, which means that Nathan Thompson can stay deeper in the forward line. But they've got some real goal options now, the Kangaroos, that they didn't have last year.
Matt Campbell, very exciting on the rookie list, as Glenn Archer told us at half-time.
Coming out this way.
So often the way. Reputations forged in the NAB Cup. Good one to have up your sleeve. No, the youngster. Davis got it to Davies, who feeds it back to Isles just on the ground. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Keith Shaw Across the ground, play on's the call. Loney spots a man on the outer side wing. That's Thomas. Burns is breaking for him. He goes there now. Will it stay in? Yes, it will. Burns right on the line. Looks inside the 50. Sets it up long. Medhurst stays off the pack. Well done, Gibson. Knocked it down to his own advantage and then found it well. He set what a task. He wasn't able to pick it up. Cook comes, gets the football, snaps and misses.
That's where Gibson has to improve his football. He's got to hit those targets. You can't mop up like that deep in defence and not make that first kick count.
Petrie short to Harvey. They had a couple of chances there, Pratt and Harvey. So Harvey with a bounce and now a second. Thompson, long way from home. Good stretch in the end and a mark. He's had a quiet one too. Look to give it off and then loads it up to centre half forward. Front spot was Edwards. Banged away. Pendlebury. Well played by Davis. And that boot away. And Collingwood, after making some ground early in the quarter, faded away a bit towards the end. And the Kangaroos have re-established their superiority. And at three-quarter time, it's 101 to 38. Thomas, one of the stars for Collingwood early last year. An opening couple of rounds, rising star nomination of the second round, and then the big match on Anzac Day. So that's the score at three-quarter time. Kangaroos on their way to Telstra Dome next Sunday afternoon to play the winner of the derby from Perth, the Dockers and West Coast.
And Bruce, that's the thing. That's why it's hard to gauge how good Collingwood might be, because Dale Thomas may come on in leaps and bounds this year. He may actually be a very good midfield player for them. That's where they're going to develop him over time. Last year he was a periphery type player, but this year they'll be hoping to push him into the guts as they have in this last quarter of play.
Eyes up on us.
So start of the final term here at Gold Coast Stadium, and the Kangaroos with a winning lead. Harvey to Moran. Moran from about 55 right to the goal square, and the punch away for Collingwood through for a behind. That was Heath Shaw. Nathan Thompson. So Shaw to bring it back in. Shane Wakeland. And his brother Darryl playing for Port Adelaide again this year and tonight in the showdown over there. That's Nichols from Thomas. Just too far for Medhurst, and then through the fingers of Ferrito. He's had a very good night, and it'll be a boundary throw in.
Leon Davis is now playing out of the square, so they're still trying to find a winning combination. Collingwood up forward.
Boundary throw in. Moran works his way in front. Close to Bryan. Pendlebury in mid-air. Release the ball, looking for Dick, who goes to ground. It dribbles out the back. Harris knocked forward by Sinclair. In the opposite direction was Maxwell. Well played, Sansbury. Liked his third term. Simpson floats one towards midfield. Going back is Campbell. He's been exciting. Well done, Egan, falling to the ground. Gave it to Loney on one knee. Coughed it up. Campbell at the feet of Moran. Picked it up nicely. The hand pass untidy, though. Egan to a voice. Gathered by Pendlebury, surrounded. Nichols tried to find a passage. There wasn't one there. And as a result, he pays the penalty. Campbell bounces to his feet. He has been Quicksilver. Goes across the ground. Watt tracks it with support from Sansbury. Just lures Rusling to him, then pops it over the top. Sansbury's away, runs down a half forward. Long kick down towards full forward. Hale was up, missed it. Going back and gathering the ball is Brown. Hale stuck at it. Well done. Thompson with a left boot. Play goes on it. Rebounded off the post. Shaw's in trouble. Tackled by Thompson. Chance for Nichols. Strong tackle. Got him down. Jones. And Jones will get the free kick.
Good effort.
Or is it Shannon Grant who's come up with the football? I thought Jones was the tackler. Doesn't matter.
No, I didn't think there was too much there.
I suppose it does to Jones. But Jones has got the football now. Grant tossing it across to him.
He's got to be there, though.
And this guy's played a wonderful game.
That's fair enough.
That's a very good decision too.
That's just wanting to do it. Despite the scoreboard, 102 plays 38. Corey Jones wanted to lay that tackle. As a result, he wants to kick this goal. directly in front. No Corey.
He's kicked one super goal and a couple of others, but a big miss there. A couple of footies back, so sure to go wide to Isles.
Dennis, what's the rule with the footballs coming back into play?
I'm not quite sure.
Is that an area of expertise that
Well, I did raise the question when we spoke with the umpires. Remember that? Confused everybody.
Egan at half back. Not a bad kick, kept it in play. Thomas with some pace, kept his eye on it. Well done, Thomas, really well done. Egan, handball inboard to Johnson, has been terrific to Pendlebury. He's had a lot of the footy, came off the interchange. Now, Medhurst at about 60. Good kick, got terrific purchase on it, right to the goal screen. Ruslin's got it.
Straight in front. Straight in front, he marked it inside the line.
That's
Straight
when
in front.
you just roll on and make the play. There was nothing there building for Collingwood. Medhurst just decided to take the game on, rolled straight on, kicked the ball deep, and Rusling was on the right side of his direct opponent.
Fourth possession for Rusling from the goal square, a goal.
All clear, Charles.
Well, the 20-year-old's had a better second half than his first half, and the key there was that Medhurst was able to get so much on the kick.
Yeah, and just talking to Guy McKenna yesterday about the way that they were going to play Medhurst, they thought that they might try and push him further up the ground. They believe that he has got great kicking skills, and he's one of those players, if he can get the ball between the wing and half forward, he can set up a lot of play. That's much better in the second half for Rusling.
Sean Rusling missed the first 7 games last season with a shoulder injury. In this half, the Kangaroos have kicked 5 goals to 4, so full credit to Collingwood. Not a lot to play for after half-time, but they've stuck at it. Loney got the ball out of the middle initially. Johnson, who's been very good, squares it, slipping over Reece Jones, or rather... nostalgia, you can't beat it. Reece Shaw falling to one knee, gave it across to Loney, who's the expert from 9-point range, but he couldn't control the football. Pendlebury back to Shaw, and Shaw kicks the goal from 40. 6-pointer.
All clear.
That's something to warm the hearts of Collingwood fans. Reece Shaw getting a goal. He's been out of sorts the last couple of years. Had an injury interrupted year, a knee, had a year off with that, came back last year. It wasn't the same play. It sometimes takes the players an extra 12 months to really find their form again. But that's a real welcome sight for Collingwood.
So the Magpies sticking at it, much the same in the third quarter when they made the running early there. But still too far back for tonight at least. Swallow to Harris, to Harvey, to Rawling. So some real experience there. And that's the Kangaroos tonight. They picked pretty much their best side. Thomas did well. Kick towards centre-half forward. Pendlebury onto it. He showed a lot of good signs. Now Brian can almost go here. Well done though by Petrie. He ran straight into it and bore the brunt of it. Back to Reece Shaw, to Johnson. What a night he's had. And out wide finds Cloak.
There! Shannon!
Got the opening 9-pointer, super goal of the match. Now, Brian, you would fancy.
That's the play I've been looking for all night from Collingwood. He's going to have a... No, he's going to...
It's gone short. Wants Davis. And he's always under pressure to take the mark. Sainsbury. Good second half. Sinclair just released it. Dick, Sainsbury, Davis. Little toe poke. Ferrito cops a high one and back to Sainsbury.
Loops it over the top. Campbell accelerates away. His hand pass, though, was stifled. Well done. Isles initially got hands to the ball, then won it. Johnson towards full forward. Going back, Davis off hands across the line.
Play on, no 20, play on.
Magpies creep closer. Watt out of the back pocket. Moran looks a player. Having said that, you watch this. Got into all sorts of trouble. Watt, Sinclair, Thought about the hand pass, decided to kick. Harvey takes on Pendlebury, did well. Right on the line across the centre. Goes in short, barely the 20. Jones wheels around. Another short pass. That time called not 20. Sinclair went to Harvey, who coughed it up. Isles, the high ball down towards half forward. Big leap from behind by Sainsbury. Butters up again. In trouble out there, rustling. Eventually it's with Loney. Loney got it from Cloak. Comes across the ground. Now Medhurst. He's about 75 metres out. Miscues completely. Watt didn't turn around in time. Coming up the ground down there, Maxwell. Off the ground by Davis. Opportunity for Dick. Open goal beckons and he kicks it.
That's a great sign, isn't it? Young player kicking his first goal at his new club. Just watch Leon Davis here. Hit the ball hard. Followed up. Good pressure there from Leon Davis. That's exactly what you want to see from your small forwards. There's Dick just jumping in there. Leon Davis, ball just slipping through his hands there. But here we see Dick just following that play through.
So for the first time tonight, Magpies put 3 together. 3 goals at the start of this final quarter, and they get that lead. They get that margin back to under 50 again. Johnson with 28 possessions.
What a bang, but
he's a ball magnet, isn't he? He just continues to find the ball. One of their best possession players last year.
Going straight back.
Not only find it, Tim, but use it, which he's done really well tonight. Maxwell belts it out of the air. Thomas. Sainsbury tries to run him down. Dick Thomas from 45. Just unable to bring it back with the leg. Thomas has got better as the match has gone on. Started on the interchange. So Collingwood with a bit of a run on here. And Thomas with another chance, and he cuts it off.
Mark's here.
Second man taken in the 2005 draft. Probably his weakest aspect was his kicking last year, and again evidence there. It struck the man on the mark. Sainsbury comes back to Petrie. Could have almost been penalised. The ball goes across the boundary line. Dick pleads his case, and we'll have a throw-in. 103 plays 58. 10.5 minutes to go in game 1 of the NAB Cup. So it seems assured that the Kangaroos will go into round 2. Both these sides winners of round 1 matches last year. Sainsbury again out of defence, knocked up getting possessions. In front, Thomas got an unkind bounce. Shaw was watching him and knocked the ball. Went back and found it though. Loney over the shoulder. Taken about 60 metres from goal by Maxwell. Concedes, comes back to Shaw. Shaw decides to change direction, made it awkward. Campbell came hard, knocked it away from Egan. Egan the better recovery. Now a chance for Nichols, stumbles towards the 50. Pendlebury confronted, goes to Loney. Loney from 60 metres out, long towards the square. Getting back Sainsbury over the top there of Thomas, able to force it through for a behind.
Just come back a couple, that's it. Thank you.
That was called just a 1-pointer.
Yeah, interesting. It was a great kick by Loney.
Had a lot of the ball Pendlebury too, hasn't he?
Yep.
Young developing midfielder.
He was the high draft pick a couple of years ago, and he looks like he's ready to have a big season for Collingwood. He's Cloak. So from about 65, Jig Cloak loads up, and he's offline, but gets the journey. So Collingwood on top here. Kangaroos have hardly had it in the 50 in the final term. And Collingwood doing very well at keeping the ball in their 50 in this term. Dick's been good, hasn't he? But then again, he misses the lot. And Kangaroos to bring it back in. As good as Campbell and Thomas have been, Dick on a losing team tonight has also shown that he's going to provide something for Collingwood in the future.
Sainsbury finds Jones. Very good tonight, Jones. Seems every time I see him he plays well. Watt. Sainsbury runs it up, chips it out towards the wing, ill-directed, taken by Cook. Looks back towards the middle. That was just fainting. Goes down towards left half forward. Kick from Medhurst. and Jones backed himself, tumbles, takes the mark and gives it away. Egan 40 metres out. Collingwood get another one. 6 points.
Clear, Charles.
They're getting some late goals, Collingwood. They're working hard for them, though, in this quarter. The most of the game has been played in their half. As we see Dick just coming off now. And Medhurst has provided a bit of an option for them too across half forward. He's presented himself really well. They've been looking for that focal point all night going forward, Collingwood, and it's really hasn't been until this last quarter until they've found it. 4-3 to 2 points in the last quarter. So Collingwood 27-2. Simpson. So the Kangaroos would want to just finish this off now. Swallow, maybe high in the end.
High tackle! High tackle!
He sure hasn't had a good night with the umpies, has he? Riggio to fall forward. Hanson at the back. Here's Thomas. He's got 3. He's got 1 in every quarter. Make that 1 in all 4.
Don't go off.
There's a lot to like about Lindsay Thomas. There's no question about that. This is just beautiful. Front and square, roving to a pack. What's this? Off the hands. Times his run, swoops in on the ball, and then has a wonderful finish as well.
Go at the footy.
You just don't see better crumbing than that.
Go straight to the footy.
Good work too by Lachlan Hanson, giving the contest, getting it on the ground. They've got the big guys. They've had those for a while now up forward. They haven't had the crummer. And that time, Thomas, in fact 4 times tonight, has been very lively on the ground. He arrives quickly. That's hard to combat. Now a free kick to Collingwood. It'll be taken by Cook down towards left half forward. Ferrito giving the ball back, but he's been very good. He's standing the mark at the moment, about 65 metres out.
You come off your line.
Heard the umpire McInerney. High ball inside the forward 50 then. Opportunity for the Kangaroos to clear. Harris flicked it across. Sainsbury did well. Gibson's got the run of it. In the back pocket under no real pressure. Taking a while though, made his own pressure. Cloak did well. He beat a would-be Shepparder and then was able to knock the ball across the boundary line.
Straight up.
So Collingwood showing good application late in this game, despite the scoreboard. 109-65. Ball behind the pack. Gibson taken down, jarred out of there. Harris at close quarters missed the target. Swallow did nicely. Too slick though for Harvey. Tackled by Pendlebury. Jarred out of there. Rawlings to McIntosh.
Free kick. There was a mark to Cloak, but the free kick against Egan, I think.
Go there.
So Jones started the first quarter with 11 possessions. This is his 21st. He's had 3 goals, including the super goal.
Backwards, play on.
Pratt. Good penetrating kick to Edwards, wasn't it? Great kick to centre wing.
Right there.
Edwards has done a bit. He's kicked a goal. He's got that unusual kicking style to fall forward. Wakeland held his ground, and then Shaw came in, and then really quick, and Thompson off the ground, but behind.
That was almost a goal created just purely by the pace lane of Campbell. Wakeland thought that he was going to have that ball covered easily.
Fine.
So Collingwood out of defence, having the best of it in the last quarter. Burns at half back to
Right
Cook
there,
at centre wing.
Cook out against the boundary line. Just pops it beyond that centre line. Burns the high ball inside the 50. Petrie goes back and takes the mark. How to judge the support here tonight, it's difficult to do. I'd say possibly a Kangaroos house, but as always, the Magpies, when they travel, they've got supporters waiting for them.
Kick it on.
Here's Watt. Drives it towards the wing then from behind and landing rather awkwardly. He didn't stick the landing, Edwards. Egan under pressure. Did pretty well. So did Harris. Able to punch it away. Burns, desperate trouble there for him. Gives it across to Davies. Kicks it down towards the 50. Petrie reaches in on Cloak. Cloak is trying to get that ball out, but I was going to say he may pay the price. He does not.
Standing up, that's
Some
all right.
compassion there from umpire Armstrong.
Thanks, Trav.
I think the touch came before the kick.
I think so.
So maybe an unlucky one for the Kangaroos. Here's Wells. Had a very good opening to him. Good mark, Edwards. Now, Edwards might fancy himself from here. Over 100 goals last year. Well done, though. Finds Grant inside 50 with some space and a chance to go back and goal.
Kicked 100 goals last year in the VFL, Edwards, down there at Frankston. He's a boy from Western Australia. I like the way he moves, and he gives them another option up forward. That was smart, too. He could have blazed away. Saw Grant just sliding into some space there.
So Shannon Grant played the first 18 games last year, then had the knee operation, set out the last 4. He's timed it well, and he kicks his second for the match. It's been a big career, hasn't it? Sydney grand final against the Kangaroos, and then a premiership with the Kangaroos winning the Norm Smith.
He's been an outstanding player. They're at the stage now where the Kangaroos really want some good young players to come up through their own ranks, so these blokes don't have to take the workload that they've had in the past. Perhaps we're seeing 2 of them tonight.
Shannon Grant has played 74 of 96 minutes so far in this game. It was very important when they were building their lead. Hooked down behind by Richards. Rawlings over the football. Burns over him. Burns did well. Out to Shaw, falling to the ground. That was clever. Davies feeds it back. Heath Shaw goes with the outside of the boot. This is Cook. Burns has run on. Down towards left half forward, Burns. Centering kick needs to be good. Wasn't, I think. Richards touched it onto the chest there of Brown. Brown at close quarters to Pendlebury. Back to Burns, 60 metres out, backs off. Looks across the perimeter, nothing on. Pendlebury's got it now, and they do skirt the perimeter, but pretty deep. They're about 70 metres from goal. Davies, no 20 the call. Heath Shaw sets it up then. Can Thomas get there? No, but Gibson can.
Stay there,
Threw himself at the football and is marked just inside the boundary line.
It was an ambitious kick, that one, Dennis.
Absolutely. Gibson to Sinclair, marginally forward.
He's back. Dale now. Dale.
Sinclair just outside the defensive 50. Gibson around the outer side boundary line. And Simpson.
Edwards on the lead, just couldn't hang on to it, and out of play.
Well, the key to the Kangaroos defence, Drew Petrie, playing on Travis Cloak tonight.
Yeah, he works pretty hard, Travis. He's pretty quick off the mark as well. Lucky it was slippery out there. I think he would have clunked a few otherwise.
Yeah, he's done pretty well. Good players around you in the defence always helps.
Yeah, Daniel Pratt, Josh Gibson. We've got a pretty young back line, but the key to that is just communicating and working hard for each other.
Thanks, Drew.
Play on. Easy, mate.
Mate!
Sinclair and Edwards again, who's growing as this match goes on.
He presents well, Bruce. He's a born full forward. Even though he's been pushed up the ground, he still knows how to present himself to the leading player.
He's a similar size to Russell Robertson, I reckon, from Melbourne, isn't he? Kicks from the 50, gets under it, and Richards able to just punch the ball over the line. Kangaroos just 3 times in the home and away season scored more than 100 points last year. They're on 117 tonight, and only once after round 6. So that's a good sign. So 117 to 65.
Maxwell's kick after he got it from Burns bounces out of bounds in front of Thomas. Just talking about Aaron Edwards. He played 4 games for the West Coast Eagles, had 8 kicks and kicked 2 goals in the first quarter of his debut match against the Tigers in round 11 of 2005. Quickly fell out of favour, but he's shown a lot of resolve to get a second chance. No doubt he aims to make the most of it. And what we've seen tonight, he is a chance. Burns across the ground. Burns has been trying hard in this term. Over the football is Thomas. Now it's a race. Thomas wants to get that front position. He did. And he'll get the free kick. And/or advantage will be paid. It's coming back to Thomas. Well, that was simply a question of want to, although it may also have been influenced by a touch of cramp on Egan. Thomas, his stock sky high, kicks it down towards half forward, but Heath Shaw outmaneuvers Shannon Grant to take the mark. Goes across the ground. Richards. Now Reece Shaw. An emphatic bounce. Play on's the call, not 20. Thomas. Not many options. Brown moves for him now, but the kick again is not good. It bounces, though, obligingly for Brown. He goes back towards the middle. I think it came off the side of the boot. Loney spots Tuvey. Not 20, says the umpire. Didn't carry either. Tuvey releases the ball. Davies in trouble with the outside of the boot. Did clever work. Got it across towards Egan. Now Isles. Back to Richards, but they're making hard work of this. It's labour intensive.
And again wide, this time to Thomas, and then Thomas inside the 50 and gets to Burns. Well, Johnson's been the big possession getter for Collingwood up until this quarter, but now he's on 28. Burns about to go to 29, and Pendlebury's right with them on 29. So Burns touching 30 possessions almost. The veteran, been a terrific player over a long period of time. Kicks from 50 and to the near side. So Collingwood having the best of it in the last quarter.
Keep coming back, thanks, Chris. Keep coming
It was 30 at quarter time, 47 at half time, 63 at three-quarter time. Back to 51. Kangaroos out of defence.
Thompson. A couple of great years for the Kangaroos since crossing from Hawthorn. This is McIntosh, dying seconds of the game. Hamish McIntosh goes down towards full forward. In front was Edwards. Through his hands, Loney got it from Maxwell. Under pressure in the square. A lot of problems for Pendlebury. And ditto, a teammate that he sold into trouble. Don't know who that is at the bottom of the pile. We'll find out soon enough.
Has he?
Egan. And now we've got the blood rule in the dying seconds of the game. Swallow coming off the ground.
Again, Dennis, some terrific pressure there by young Matty Campbell. They're going to cause a real concern for opposition sides this year.
They'll be looking very closely at Campbell, wouldn't they, as we say on the rookie list at the present time. But with Jonathan Hay retiring, they might have a bit of scope to make one or two changes. There's Swallow. Hardly worth coming on. Ball is thrown up about 15 metres out from goal. All that way for nothing. It's all over. And the Kangaroos take step one towards that $1 million double. Who knows? NAB and Toyota. If you can take the double in premierships this year, starting with the NAB Cup and then on to the Toyota Premiership, it's worth $1 million. Tonight the Kangaroos 117-66. You know what they say? From humble beginnings. The Roos win game one in the NAB Cup.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.